Peter Hujar is a personal photographer. He's not interested in the surface. He's interested in what's inside. And the camera is a strange device to use to get at what's inside because it can only see what's outside. Hujar was aware of that, and overcoming that paradox is something to which he devoted his life. I think of the contact sheet as a net that catches the work of a photographer between the first stage, which is making the exposure, and the second stage, which is thinking about and transforming that first bit of work into something that other people will see and understand. The records that compose this exhibition are very private. Peter Hujar was not someone communicating with an art director through his contact sheets or hoping to memorialize the master narrative of his career by keeping written records of what he did. He was talking to himself. And what this exhibition allows you to do is really get inside what's a very intimate relationship between an artist and the objects that come out of his working process. Peter Hujar was a New Yorker and a photographer of the creative New York that he knew, which was a very broad swath of downtown New Yorkers, people from cultural institutions, dancers, performers, artists, writers. And what he wanted to do as a photographer was engage with the world that he knew through portraiture. What I love about looking at Peter Hujar's contact sheets is the sense of contact with him and the intimacy of this relationship between him and his process and his sitter. You can see him going from a young man who's a little bit impatient and moving on from shot 1 to shot 2 to shot 3, trying whatever he can to make the session work out. In his maturity, you see him starting with an idea that pretty much endures through the entire length of the session. He's learned how to use time and how to use his relationship to the sitter in the same way that somebody in a session with a therapist, let's say, is not necessarily being made comfortable, but they are being made to dig for something deeper than what you would get in a daily conversation. These are sheets from the sessions that Hujar did in 1975 for his book, Portraits in Life and Death. There was a relationship to the work he had learned as a commercial photographer, but it was his own persona and his own mood that he wanted to convey in the book. Hujar is best known as a portraitist, but I think it colored everything else that he did as well. And he did a surprising amount of landscape photography, of cityscapes, of views of buildings from below. And in all of those, he's doing what a portraitist does. He's making a focus of the subject of his attention. Towards the end of his life, Hujar sent mixed messages about where he thought his work would go in the future. He told friends that he was saving his working materials so that scholars would be able to trace how he got to the final print. At the same time, he had a dark view of the world in the 1980s as the AIDS crisis took over the world that was closest to him, and as the people around him saw the city falling apart. But it really becomes a part of his worldview. And a part of that was, I think, also an understanding that he was never going to see the fame that he felt his work deserved. So it's been very gratifying to feel that we here at the Morgan Library could make a difference to public appreciation of Peter Hujar's work.